Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Glad you could join me here. Make sure you hit them like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. Today we're going to be adding another video to our list of videos for the Sonic Blue car. It's that turbo car I brought in. You know, look what I found video and what did I find video. Make sure you guys check those videos out prior to this. We ripped the motor down. We cleaned all the parts. Found out it didn't have any head studs. And then, you know, shit was just messed up. So we went through the block again. The block looked like it had been rebuilt, had a girdle on it already. We went ahead and did some head studs and some other things, but let's get into that video. One thing I wanted to mention that it's going to be a correlation of about 8 or 10 videos, so be patient because I took like a 30-second, 45-second video of every time every step I went on the motor thus far, which I got most of it together, but anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Here we go. I got this engine here. We're going to start putting it together. Somebody had already rebuilt this engine before. It's not going to be, I'm not going to get into cleaning the shit out of it. It ran really good before, and I'm going to clean these, make sure these deck surfaces are nice and clean, and clean inside the bores, inside the engine, and then we're going to get to it. We're going to put this engine together because got all these parts nice and categorized with the bolts cleaned. And I think she's ready for the drive line here soon. One thing I wanted to show that I am putting a Fox cam in this engine. As you can see, there's the ZE stamp. I'm going to use the ZE cam because the Z cam, let me show you over here. Because the Z cam had some pitting in it. Now, I'm pretty sure the Z cam is the speed density one, but either way, they're the same damn thing. So we're gonna clean it up, put it in. One thing I wanted to show you real quick before we did it, and I actually did it, being that I've built about 150 of these blocks or more. Don't forget your cam bearing retainer. A lot of people do it, and I just did it. Got in a hurry and forgot to put that in. Had to pull it back apart. So make sure you do that, because if you don't, you will wipe your cam out, that bearing, everything. You'll mess that whole motor up. All right, so we fixed our screw up. We're still cleaning the block, getting a little bit of the dust and dirt and stuff out of it. I mean, like I said, this is a stock bottom and stock block type shit. So I'm not really super duper worried about, like, I'm not gonna get anal about debris and shit. But I gotta make sure my gasket surfaces are sealed, because the one thing I cannot stand is opening the damn motor back up, especially on the water ports, because I didn't seal them properly. But anyways, we just went dot to dot. We didn't degree no cam in. That's what you just normally do with this stuff. If you were wondering what the hell this is, a fuel pump eccentric for an old school carbureted motor. It matches this. So if anybody went carbureted, they could actually convert this motor over. But I mean, who would do that, right? So anyways, top dead center, 6 is up on its second stroke. So we know what you're talking about. All right, so we got the front of the motor together. 50 ounce Professional Products harmonic balancer set to 0. We put the factory timer back in, no big deal. At 1, at 6. We put a little blue Loctite on this because this likes to come loose on boosted applications. I've at least had this. Probably should have put the ARP one in, but there's nothing wrong with the factory one for what we're doing. Got everything sealed up. The 2 bolts for the timing, and the 2 bolts over here. 2 top bolts. This is just each timing chain cover has its own 6-bolt setup. So we're going to leave the water pump off for now. We're going to flip this motor over, and we're going to put the oil pan on. All right, so we've been fighting for this for about an hour. This DSS stroker, support system here. We've put a new Mellings, not a high volume, just a normal Mellings. Yeah, it's actually a high volume, but I'm not worried about it. I don't like that for turbos or whatever, but it is what it is. It's got this little spacer here, and this whole thing was off, and I think this is a different one than factory because it doesn't have the Banco number on it. But it looked like this thing came loose here. The bracket did. So we managed to get it down in here, and we're gonna put the bracket on, and we're just gonna tack it up. Just send it, right? It looks like it sits pretty good, nice and level. And we're gonna check the pan here in a minute. Okay, so we welded the strap. I ain't a master welder, but I just put a couple tacks on it. And this is why you don't weld in Jordans, because now my foot's on fire. I have no idea, because we covered the whole motor in plastic, the only weld area. Anyways, LOL. This, I just wanted to show you that we're about to put the pan on. This is the blue gaskets. I wanted to make a quick video. You know, these are all like a contemplation or whatever, correlation of a bunch of videos of us putting this turbo motor together. That way, if I ever sell it, whatever, it's known as done. But anyways, we put the blue gasket on because I'm gonna tell you what, guys, spend the extra money for the fucking blue gaskets because they got the steel core in them. They fit like a glove right into the areas. You know, that cork shit, that stuff's garbage because when you start cranking down on this, it starts peeling out, and then boost will blow it out. But you know, you're gonna run a boosted motor. Make sure you buy the good gaskets. That's why we also got the valve cover gaskets over there in blue. So, all right, so we got the pan on. Like I said, I'm just taking a slow video, taking little increments or whatever. But the pan already been tapped. This is a 1/2 inch. I highly suggest running a barbed 1/2 inch, and it's usually about 1 inch away from the top here. Whatever returns the oil for the turbo. You got to run your bracket. I always run the brackets. You got all your 3/8 and 1/2 inch. So I think we're ready to flip it over. We're about ready to put the head gaskets on, head studs, and get these, start sealing the motor up so it stop getting dirty. All right, so we got the head studs in. We cleaned them out, cleaned around where they went in at, because there's always a little bit of something that comes out of these threads, even though I cleaned them. But make sure this deck is nice and clean and nice and, you know, nice and flat. You know, the heads are over here. They got springs on them, as you can see. We've also had them decked to make sure they were flat. There's just the factory heads, man. We're gonna make power on factory shit, no ports. But anyways, one thing I wanted to show you about these head gaskets. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. I like to run the PT933 or 9333 PT1s. They're like 18 bucks or some shit at the parts store. I've been running these. A lot of those videos you see those black car making hits on, we're on these damn head gaskets. Anyways, what I'm here to show you is this shit only goes on one way. If you're putting a factory block, stock block back together, it only goes one way, fellas. Says it right on it. Front. Your only water jackets here are in the rear. Shit's blocked in the front. Okay? So when you buy a set of gaskets, one is going to be installed upside down. See that? Front. No problem, right? I actually got that in the wrong hole, but okay. I'll fix it. So make sure you keep that right. Went kind of crazy here. We got all the heads installed, torqued at 85/90. Put the rockers on, but they're not done yet. We've already clearanced the valve covers. They were already come like that. We just kind of went a little crazy. Got the alternator relocation. This is that factory Ford power steering bracket that actually moves the shit up. I love this bracket because I can still run a power. I actually modified this bracket to work in my black car, my 351. Got the harmonic balancer in. This little spacer has to go with these aftermarket harmonic balancers because they space the pulley so it lines up with everything. We're pretty much ready to go. I mean, we're going to drop this motor in and finish it after I put the lower intake on it tomorrow. And, you know, we're going to start buttoning things up. We're going to get the headers that got shaved and cleaned up from the dyno shop, from my machinist. And we're going to start putting them on too. But anyways, I was showing you about the valve covers here. This is the factory, you know, passenger side. Most rockers, you have to take this baffle out. And I don't know if I have to take this out yet or not. I think I do. I don't know if it hits or not. I know the 173s hit, the Cobra rockers, the factory ones that I like to run. But somebody did something really cool. They did me a solid here, and I already had this done. Super smart, and I got a little filter for it right there. And they actually welded the inside so no oil will splash out of it. Just enough to get the air out. Very smart. Very, very smart. When you're running a stock block turbo, making 400 wheel, 500 wheel, whatever, you can run factory lines. You can run factory pump, or not pump, but factory lines, you know, factory rails or whatever. But the one thing you must do is you must vent your damn motor because it'll just grenade itself. So what I like to do is make something in the back here too. I put like one of the little AutoZone filters, and I actually cut the PCV out and take the ball out, whatever. Let this, you know, it's got to have this little net here that keeps the oil down. Okay, and then. you know, you got to let both sides of valve cover breathe. If the motor's breathing, man, that's why it'll be fine. Sure, you can run an evacuation pump, but man, you don't need that shit at 400 horsepower. Come on, dog. Anyways, stay tuned. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. This is just an updated video. I'm going to probably post this this evening. And, yeah, whatever. We'll go with that.